I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors Update, and here we are. It's Monday, October 5th, and that means we're just literally 5 days away, if you do the math, from the October 10th Helping Seniors Car Raffle. And today we have the pleasure of none other than founder and president, Joe Steckler. How are you today, Joe?
Well, I'm fine, and I can honestly say that I'm sitting here about 90% pain-free, and I just came back from seeing my regular doctor, and he's a little concerned that my left knee, the one they took out and put a new knee in, has got to get the swelling down a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't want to talk about my knee. I want to talk about that car.
Yep.
And but seriously, Kerry, I just looked. The mail came in today, and out here on Tortoise Island, we have a magazine that comes out to the 300 people that live out here, and it's a beautiful little magazine. And there's a whole one-page story about a car raffle in there.
Great.
And then you look in the last issue of Hometown News. There's a beautiful article in there that Brittany Mulligan did for that issue of a Hometown News.
Right.
But what I'm getting at is that there's so many people in the community that have picked up and said, we're going to help make this a success. And then I started looking at all these ticket orders we're getting in on. If you want to buy a ticket, folks, you can go to helpingseniorscarraffle.com. Correct? Yeah,
That's
I see your
exactly
thumb sticking up. It says right. But I look at that every ticket order that comes in. I look at, and we're getting ticket orders from all over the United States, and it says a lot for people because. Yeah, I'm sure they'd like to win a car, but there aren't that many people that are going to spend that kind of money on buying tickets for a car, and unless they know it's for a good cause. And I think that when people go to our website, Helping Seniors of Brevard.org, that they got another thumbs up. And my memory's serving well. Helping Seniors of Brevard.org. People are getting the idea that we do help people.
Yeah.
And for every time somebody gets help, it's just like I had a call yesterday, a lady from Chesapeake, Independence, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to look up where that is. But from Independence, Virginia, she wanted to buy tickets. Good. And it was an elderly person. And I'm sure that she had her reasons, and I'm going to find out, because I'm going to call her and talk to her and find out why she wanted to buy tickets. Because I get kind of inquisitive. I'd like to know why people are supporting a nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm. And it's got to be more than a name. Recognition, and it gets out there among the people, and people will find out about a good deal, and they capitalize on it. And one deal goes to another person, and they get help, and it goes to somebody else. But that's exactly what we wanted when we started. And it's a long time since we did the filming for these things back in that studio of yours down there in Palm Bay, Florida, where we had that black curtain across the back of the building, and we were shooting 6 television shows a day. And halfway through it, I go out there and lay down on the couch and try to recover while you are in there eating.
Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago, Joe. We've been at this for quite a while.
Yes, we have. But Gary, helping people is going to always be around.
That's right.
And it's just like this pandemic thing we've just gone through. There are a lot of Americans that have found out that they can help somebody else if they try. And whether it's by really getting there and doing some arm work, or simply by making a donation. but that money's got to be used for the right thing. And according to my little investigation over these last 7 months, all the organizations that I've seen that people have been making donations to are pretty good organizations. Mm-hmm. And, we have a way of finding out who does what and who does the good things, who does the bad things. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going too.
Yeah.
And the American people are a tough breed of people. It makes me proud to think that maybe I've got a little bit of that guts and fire in me that makes me want to help people. And I know I've watched you for 10 years. And we've come a long way, Kerry.
We have. And, the need for helping seniors just keeps growing because, Joe, more and more people, think about how much the county has grown just in population in 10 years. And then, of course, when you couple it with the aging of seniors that had already said, I'm going to retire here maybe 10 or 15 years ago, the need for what we do as helping seniors just keeps getting bigger by the year.
Well, it has. We keep growing and growing. And, there's no, we could have 10 phone operators answering phones, but that's not what we do. We purposely kept it small, and we try to figure out who it is that really needs that help. Right. And somehow we find them, they find us. And we've kept pretty good records of who we helped. And we've got stories that we could tell that would tear your heart out about listening to some of these things that when people make a call for us. I had a call, and believe this, I picked up the phone, I listened to one of these messages, and it was a 98-year-old lady saying, would you please call me back? I've called 3 times because neither myself at 98 or my husband, who's 95, we're both hard of hearing. So I've got to check that one out and make sure that what she wanted was a phone that she could hear on. We have services for that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that's the most important thing here is that everything that people call for, generally speaking, it's available someplace if you just know the right person. There are free hearing aids. There are free hearing devices. There are vision devices. We've got people that have macular degeneration, and they know exactly all this stuff where it is. And you'd be surprised at how much these people that are afflicted with something, they know where to get the things that'll help them. Because if they find something that helps them, they certainly want other people in the same shoe. They want them to know how to get it.
Joe, that's a thing because so many people, I'm always amazed at how much we are able to make a difference for, now it's 3,400 plus families over the course of helping seniors. And it's because a lot of times it's simply knowing how to connect somebody's situation to the right resource that's going to make that difference. But for most people, when they run up on the problem, it's the first time they've ever confronted that problem. And so they really don't know where to go, but turning and asking the question of somebody who really has that knowledge and knows how to connect them can make all the difference in the world.
Well, sometimes it scares me because I've got about 35, 40 years of that kind of experience stored in my bean box. And I want to get it out to somebody else's bean box so that they know exactly where to go, how to do it, how to get this kind of help, because it's tough when you see somebody that really doesn't have the financial ability to buy these kind of things. And that's why the government has got these programs out there. They're there but you just got to find them, and they're hard to find. They are hard to find. And that's why it's so important that when you find out about an organization like Helping Seniors at Brevard.org, that we've got that information. You can go on our website, and my goodness, your organization, your TYG Media, has probably filmed about
hundreds.
250 shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
between the articles that you write, the newsletters, the TV shows, the radio shows, these updates, we have collectively been really working hard to try to get information, just with the number of people who move into Brevard County every week. They have no idea where to start, who to call or anything. Or a lot of times, as it can be relatives of somebody who lives here in the Space Coast area, but they don't know who to call, and they're trying to figure out the right resource. And that's why all of this is so important.
Well, when I go to places like my doctor's office, and I sit in the lobby with my wife, or we go to see about getting glasses or something like that. I might hear somebody talking and go over and say something to it. And I can do it laughingly, or I can do it serious wise. I might walk over and say, how many movie stars you really think are in this room? And Terry says, how can you say something like that? I said, well, Terry, I filmed all these things and I'm a star of it. So I'm a movie star. But I said, it breaks the ice. Yeah. It breaks the ice, and people will open up and they'll start talking. Then you find other people, conversely, when you talk to them, they know that you're serious. Yeah. And they'll listen. And I think the greatest tribute I felt that people have given to me over the years of trying to work with people, that I can't tell you how many people have completely opened themselves up financial wise, so that I can really understand what it is they need. Mm-hmm. You see, if a person has got X number of dollars, you may have more than you need to qualify for programs, and you can go all day long and not get any kind of help. You've got to figure out how you're going to make it work. But on the other hand, so many people they've got to understand that the person asking these kind of questions, if they can't get honest answers, mm-hmm. there's no way they can help them, because eventually the government, if you lie about something that's available that you think that you have and they're not going to find it, they find it, and they will find it. And so it just makes the situation worse. Yeah. And if you talk to but you can't do this to everybody. Nope. As a senior, you've got to be really careful about, judging what people will do for you or against you. And this is seniors are just prime ripe candidates to be scammed.
Oh, we've talked about that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And, one of the worst things about it is scams are most often perpetrated by family members upon another family member, and thinking that, well, what difference is it going to make? Makes a lot of difference. Mm-hmm. And I think of all these senior people that I've seen left alone in a home with no one, no way to take care of, but there probably is some kind of a government, something we could find to help them a little bit. But let's get back to the car raffle. It's going to be this Saturday.
Yeah.
You believe that? That's a lot of work, Kerry, and you and several other people have put a lot of work over the last few weeks. And if people will go to our website at Helping Seniors Brevard.org, and you can see all these little things that you put together, like week 6, week 5. Yep. And you can see the ladies driving the cars around, and we've got several business people that have given a lot of their time. One of them I'm thinking about is Jennifer Helen of Seniors Helping Seniors. It sounds a lot like us, but it's not. She runs an organization of senior people that help other senior people for very little fee. And it's a good organization, but they contribute their time to go out there and do all these crazy stunts that you want them to do.
Well, I was going to say it's been a tough duty, but they do seem to like the cars. But in all seriousness, what people may not realize is that behind the scenes, these guys are working very hard because they're all very committed into the senior world as well, and they understand how important the work. I would say if anybody does, these guys really do understand how important the work of helping seniors is, because they're in that space every single day trying to make life a little bit better for seniors. And we've talked about it before. I think last week Jennifer pinch hitted for both of us because we were both unable to be at the radio show, and so she actually brought in an 82-year-old they call them providers, one of the people that works with Jennifer, who actually is one of the seniors who helps seniors. And it was just a fascinating radio program to just hear what kind of heart the people that Jennifer has on her team have for seniors, and that's why, like you often say, if we'll all work together, we can make things better for the seniors here in Brevard County.
Yeah, but there's one thing I really want to point out to people. Due to the pandemic and the coronavirus and all this stuff, Mark Pollock, the owner of the museum, has tried very, very hard, and he wants to open the museum to let people in, but he can't. He cannot do it because there's so many people who are catching this stuff. We see our president got it, but he has promised, and when we do Saturday, I hope you have at least one date that for sure you got some announcements to make.
I hope so. Their team over there with Mark is working on seeing what kind of dates that there would be available. Again, as we see, we've made it this far through COVID-19 here in Brevard County, and we just don't want to lose it in the turn and get overconfident. So even though they are relaxing some restrictions, it still seems wise to be careful and take all the right precautions. So it looks like the path is going to be that Mark and his team are going to give us a couple of dates in most likely early 2021, where he's promised to open the doors to the museum for anybody that brings in their Helping Seniors Car Raffle ticket stub, and they'll be his guests. He said, I'll buy the pizza and sodas. And so it's really going to be a nice time. And, I will say this, one of the things that the ladies that have helped us along with the Helping Seniors Car Raffle and some of the things we did out in the museum, they have all said, listen, this was the first time they actually got to see inside the museum, because the previous years they were so focused on everything connected to the car raffle. And so what we were all talking about is the fact that when Mark opens up the museum, it's really going to be a lovely afternoon out there for people, because they're just going to be able to relax and really take the time. He's got almost 350 cars out there, so it takes a while to go through that museum.
Yeah. So what you're going to do then, Mark's going to give us a couple of dates that the people that have bought tickets for this event will go into the thing. We'll have food there then. We'll make a big party out of it, and people will be able to just walk around and look at cars to your heart's content, and you won't have to worry about probably doing anything except listening for a 50-50 raffle, because we got a lot of gamblers, so we'll do it 50-50, and we just have to figure out how big a 50-50 we want to make it. So it's kind of fun to set records, and I found that the people here in Brevard County are awfully good people, and they like to join in and have a good time too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And that's what I keep saying. If it's $25 for one ticket or 5 tickets for $100 donation to Helping Seniors. And I'm saying, if you win the car or if you don't win the car, you're still going to be a winner, because you're going to be helping seniors. So you have the good feeling for doing the right thing on that. But more importantly, you've also basically got, as even Ed Diedick, the operations manager of there, he said, Joe, he said, this is one of those times that Mark makes a special accommodation for seniors because normally, as you know, it's really black tie events, $125, $150 to get into the museum, but he wants to make this available to seniors. And so that's why he said, listen, that's why Mark is happy to honor the Helping Seniors Car Raffle tickets, because he wants the seniors to be able to enjoy the museum as well. And he understands that a lot of us can be on fixed incomes. And so he wants to make it available on that level.
And I keep thinking that as long as this museum has been here, there's certainly going to reach a time when people have all seen it. That's not true. And I find more and more people have not seen that thing.
No, this was so fascinating to me. I was talking with Ed. We were in that front showroom where he's got that beautiful collection of these Ford GT cars. And he was telling me about that car that you remember he had got just before the car raffle last year. And it was a $750,000 hand-built Ford. And Ed was telling me the story. He said they had applied for that car and then they were actually denied because they had more applications than they had people who could buy the number of cars that they were making. And so they appealed that decision, and they had actually all the officials from Ford fly down, and they made the exception and let Mark buy the car, I guess is the right way to say it, because he was the only one in the entire country that had all 8 of the colors that car was originally sold in. And so because of that, he's got some just tremendous things that are amazing to see. And then Mark is always adding new cars. So there's always, even if you were there last year and you come out this year, you're going to see so many new things, because I guess that's just how he manages his collection. He's always looking for something unique and fascinating.
As many times as I've seen those cars, I have yet to see an oil spot on the floor.
No, you could eat off of the floor in there, I am sure. And Ed was telling us every single one of those cars, Mark could walk out and say, let's start this one up, and it would be ready to go.
Yeah, they're in beautiful condition. And folks, we're talking about pace cars for the Daytona and the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500. They've got the actual cars that were the pace cars and the lead cars, and there's just an awful lot of history in there. In fact, the story I like to always tell is that when I can remember when I was in high school, I could get gasoline for 18 cents a gallon, and but more, they had those pumps that had it cranking. He's got one of those pumps there.
Yeah.
And,
I was going to say, when there's actually a video we released on Saturday where Ed had taken us all on a tour, and he's really talking almost car by car, but he gets to one of those pumps, Joe, and he says he loves bringing school-age kids in there because they're always trying to figure out where you stick the debit card into it. And there's, of course, no such thing in those days.
Well, we're talking about this is supposed to just be an update today. We're making a long one out of it, but are you going to, as part of your repertoire on Saturday, are you going to give people an inside tour of the museum during the day when you do all this stuff?
Yeah, we've got actually a lot of things planned, Joe. On Friday, we're releasing a video where Ed takes us behind the scenes to the shop. And that's that building out behind the museum. You and Terry have been there, but he actually takes us all on a tour of the how they actually put the cars together and how they take care of them there. And it's got some fascinating things that aren't even in the museum there yet. So you're going to want to see that on Facebook and on YouTube for Helping Seniors on Friday. Then, as you're pointing out, on Saturday, we're going to spend the morning hours out at AJ's dealership. So we're going to have one last pass at 9:30 in the morning. We're going to be out at the Dodge store on Merritt Island, and we're going to take another look at that Dodge Challenger. Then we're going to head down the road to the Camaro at Boniface Hire Chevrolet, and we're going to also check in at Kia and see that Kia Sportage. And finally, we're going to visit over at the Mazda store and see that beautiful Mazda Miata convertible. And all that's going to happen basically between 9:30 and 2 o'clock. And from 2 o'clock on, we're going to be at the American Muscle Car Museum. And you're right, we're going to be looking at all these great cars that Mark has and getting ready, because that last ticket is sold, I think, at 5:30 p.m. So if you're going to be in it to win it, you have to have your ticket in, whether you call it in or get it online, because that way Marty has enough time to get everything organized and ready for that grand drawing at 6 p.m.
Yeah. That's an important point to make, Kerry, that if people go to Helping Seniors Car Raffle.com anytime during this week, if you go there, you can get a ticket. And while you're not going to get a ticket mailed back to you, we fill the ticket out for you electronically, and it goes into the hopper, and then eventually you will get a return stub sent to you in the mail, and you'll have that. And for anybody that actually loses their ticket or anything like that, don't worry about that, because anybody that buys a ticket to get in this car event and they can't get in because of the pandemic, when we have the open dates, you'll get in. We'll make sure you get in.
You know, and that was one of the things we've been joking a little bit about, Joe. Is that when you buy those 5 tickets for your $100 donation, you're going to find out on Saturday night if you win the car or don't win the car. But then you'll also have some great Christmas gifts to give to people to say, listen, I'm going to take you out to the American Muscle Car Museum, because you'll have those 5 ticket stubs, and each ticket stub is an admit one to those dates.
Well, I like to see those $500 ticket bundles come in, and it kind of warms, it kind of warms my heart a little bit as the president and founder of this thing, because ultimately the money goes. Responsibility for keeping this little organization open goes back to the board of directors. Everything stops there, and since I'm the chairman, the side of the buck stops with me. But that's why we got to go out, because I wouldn't last very long, and I wouldn't have a house if I had to fund this thing. I'd have to sell everything I had.
No, it was a point that I think Ashley had made. You might think the 25 or the $100 donation, but it's when everybody gets together and makes those donations, it makes the difference. And it's just, if everybody just does a little bit, it all keeps moving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm enjoyed talking to you, and I let you talk a little bit, but I know you've been tired. You've been doing a lot of talking over the last week.
Well, it's all good. It's exciting, but it's going to be fun to see who wins the car on Saturday night. It's been a thrill. This will be the 4th grand drawing for Helping Seniors Car Raffle, and we're talking, this is actually the 3rd one out of the American Muscle Car Museum, simply because Mark hadn't finished construction of it the first year. But this is the 4th. This is going to be the 4th drawing, and so it's going to be real fun to see what the winner, which car the winner chooses, and who that is. It could be you if you get your tickets today at HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com.
Okay. Well, I'm enjoying talking with you. I always do, Kerry, and I sense that people watching you do things based on what you see sometimes. And when you see a couple of guys, one obviously a lot older than the other one, talking about cars and having a good time, and you think about these two fools out there talking about cars and things on TV and on YouTube and Facebook, there must be something interesting. So I'm going to see what I can find out about what these guys are doing.
Yep.
And the big thing is we're trying the very, very best we can to help people that need help.
Absolutely.
And it makes you feel good. You ought to feel good about donating $100 worth of tickets to helping people help people. So thank you very much. And I appreciate everything that you've done, Kerry. And we're getting close to this raffle. Maybe you'll be on one more time. It was short.
Yep, absolutely. And all right. And thank you for viewing Helping Seniors Update on today. We'll be back on Wednesday with our next update. And so on behalf of the entire Helping Seniors team, thanks for tuning in, and make sure you go to Helping Seniors Car Raffle helpingseniorscarraffle.com and get your tickets today.
Thank you, Kerry.